Okay, so since I have my Dragonfly Garden stuff out, I'm just going to go ahead and do my first card, which is one of these, or using this. And I have shown you guys this kind of card before. I love this kind of card. It's so simple, but it really packs a wow. It's called a diorama card. Oh, it was just delivered, Susan said. Yay! That's awesome. Susan has her Stampin' Cut mini, her baby boss. I am so excited. Oh, Ruth's on here. Hello, Ruth. Kathy, we don't have anything set up yet. Just give us a few more days. We're working on all the logistics behind the scenes and getting the PayPal links to work. So stay tuned. Dina, Kelly, and I, it doesn't matter what link you use. It all goes to the same place. We're basically just sharing everything. So you can sign up from my blog, Kelly's blog, Dina's blog, our Facebook pages, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. We're doing everything together. So that's going to be super fun. Okay, I need to find my paper trimmer. Found it. Okay, so this is called the diorama card. And like I said, I've made these before. You guys have probably seen me make one before, and you're probably going, geez, Barb, you make these all the time. I know, because I love them and they're simple. So what I have is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Misty Moonlight. This is a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. And then I have a piece of this pattern of the Designer Series paper, cut to the same size, 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so I am going to score both of these pieces at 1/2 and 1 inch on both sides. And I actually probably should have done this before I went live, but I was having some things going on down here that were, yeah. You know, like when you don't do something for a while and you can't remember what you're doing? That was me today getting ready for Facebook Live. Yeah, normally not that I spend the entire day, but my brain is constantly thinking about, okay, what am I going to show you guys? Because I'm not a planner as far as that goes. I just think to myself, oh, I think we might want to use a Valentine's set, and I want to use my Dragonfly Garden because that's my kit class for the month. And then I sort of, at the last minute, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything done. But it always works out. Okay, so we have all of these pieces scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And so, whoops, I am going to fold these. So I'm going to fold the one closest to, so I have like a Z fold. Okay. Fold those like so. And then these, we're going to do the same thing. Fold that up. So these are going to hook together. So this is what they look like before we actually get them glued. This is what they look like. Okay. So, but before I actually glue them together, I'm going to stamp a little bit of stuff in the middle there. So I've got my super long stamp. Again, I have a little trick to show you guys how to, that's crooked. Oh, I hate crooked stuff. I'm very, what's the word? Anal retentive, OCD, type A personality. Yeah, I freak out when stuff's not, I just don't like it. Okay, so I've got some Misty Moonlight ink. I have a scratch piece of paper somewhere over here. Here's one. So we're going to stamp a couple of these long images. A piece of my hair. That's nice. I'm going to start kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to come down a little bit on each side. Just to kind of get a little bit of a background through the window there. So I am done with that, I think. Then I am going to, I think I'm ready to glue these pieces together. Yeah, and I like to use liquid glue for this because I want to have a little bit of wiggle room and a little bit of time to actually have these things set. So I don't recommend using like seal or tear and tape because, once you stick those, they're kind of stuck. Sometimes you get a little bit of leeway with the seal before it becomes permanent, but not always. So then you want to just line up the edges. So there we go. And then we should just be able to push this over to the edge and glue that down as well. Okay, so you can see that it folds flat for mailing, which is awesome. And then it will also stand up on a table or a desk or whatever, windowsill, whatever, so that people can admire it and enjoy it. Okay, so I did take a circle out. I used my Layering Circles framelits. Or I guess they're not framelits anymore. They're just layering circles, but I still call it framelits. Now, which one is this? Let me see. I numbered them all, but it looks like my number is coming off. So this one was 8, 7. So this is number 6. So 8's the biggest. So this is number 6. And then I have the scallop circle, which I believe is the, number 7. So this is the like second largest. And these actually, you guys, they layer together perfectly. And then you can cut this out. If you run those through together, you can cut out this and you'll get a plain circle too, but I don't need that. So I just tossed it. So that's how I made the circle. So now all I have to do is just add a little glue to the back of this. And again, I'm using liquid glue just because, you know, obviously it's going to be easier than trying to get seal or tear and tape or something on there. Glue dots, what have you, isn't going to work so great. So you also, when you're stamping, you need lots of different adhesives. My husband's like, why do you need so much glue? Why don't I? Okay, so I'm going to add this to the outside of the circle here. And it should fit just perfectly. Okay. And with the liquid glue, like I said, we get to, you know, mess around with it a little bit. Ah, so cute. Okay, so now I have a 2-inch strip of white cardstock. I guess it's basic white now. And I'm going to stamp in black a dragonfly. So let me ink up my little friend here. And we're going to stamp 1. I like to stamp 2 because I love layering them together because they make such a cool 3D. There's such a cool 3D effect with them. All right, so in the stamp set is this little wing piece, this little piece right here. And it's not designed to be perfect when you stamp it on the wings. And I'm going to do a little tester here. I'm going to see which one I like better. This one's full strength. And I'm going to do the second generation over there. And I'm going to do this again. So like I said, they're not designed to be perfect, but they definitely work to fill in those leaves. I think I just touched my ink pad. Of course I did. Okay. So then I'm going to punch them out. So of course, I just slide it in. Ooh, and here's a little trick too, you guys. See the tiny little punch here? We don't have a tiny dragonfly punch. But you can actually stamp the image and then you can actually punch it out with the tiny one and you'll have like a little tiny dragonfly. There's another little tip. Okay, so punch that one and that one. Okay, so now I'm going to put these on the inside of my window here. So I don't know which one I want to show, if I want the lighter one to show or the darker one. I'm kind of thinking the lighter one. That darker one's pretty dark. It is. So I am going to put this one on the back. So I'm just going to put my liquid glue right along the body. And then I can just glue these together like that. And then I can just lift up my wing on both sides. And then I have a 3D dragonfly. Oh my, look at that. I didn't wait till my glue dried. Hold, please. There we go. So just squish it harder, I guess. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of this wings here. Tiny bit on the body. And then a tiny bit on the head. Ugh, there. And then we can just add our little dragonfly friend right in said window. Press it down, and then of course these wings will pop up. And this pops up, and you have this totally cool 3D thing. I just want to add a little tiny bow with my Misty Moonlight ribbon here, and this is almost gone. But there's enough to do a bow. So I'm going to have a couple of loops. There we go. Get it nice and tight. Get some scissors and trim off those ends. Okay. Whoops, that's not quite even. All right, and then I need a glue dot. So this is not a card that's included in the kit. This is not going to be my card because I don't do anything with the designer series papers, and so in order to include this in the kit, I would have to crop your hole out of your designer series paper, and I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we have a little bow, we have our dragonfly, and now I just remembered I need a sentiment, and I was not planning ahead for a sentiment. Where are the sentiments? Oh, I think thank you for your kindness. I always need thank you cards, you guys, so I do make a lot of thank you cards. Hopefully that doesn't bother anyone that most of my cards are thank yous, but that's normally what I need because I have so many people to thank. All right, let me try to get this on here. Okay, and I'm gonna cut. Whoa, things are flying all over the place down here. Okay, I am gonna cut maybe 3/4. Oh, I guess I should measure it because I don't want to cut it wrong. I think it's about 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, 3/4 should, quote unquote, should work. Okay, and let's bring in the old Misty Moonlight. I'm going to stamp on my scratch paper here real quick just to see if I actually got this centered. Kind of. I think I should be able to get it to, work. We'll see. All right, so we are going to angle it down just a tad. There. I think that'll work. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, I love flagging the ends of things, and I'm lazy, so I don't want to find my punch. Although, if you aren't lazy, then you can get your little banner punch and do that. I think that'll work. All right, I'm just going to add a little glue, and then we're just going to add this right here at this fold line, right underneath our circle. Okay, and that's it. It's done. Yay! Okay, so here is another one that I made. This was actually one that I made a couple of months ago when the Dragonfly bundle first became available to demonstrators. I had an on-stage group for my team. Those of us that had registered for a Stampin' Up! Event called On Stage, and I demonstrated that in that group for those guys. And so I thought, why not make it again, but use a different pattern, because I love doing that. And that's something that we're going to do in our Stamp Happy Academy. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know, take a layout and use different designer series papers, different colors, you know, to create different cards. And so if it was my turn to be live in there, I would have probably made this with the dragonfly, maybe with the heart, maybe with some flowers, just a bunch of different stamps and stuff, so that, you know, if you don't have the exact stamps that we use, you'll probably have something that will work, something that will fit in that area. And that's kind of what we're hoping to help you with. You know, we want you guys to use your stuff. Everybody needs to use their stuff. Oh my gosh, should we put a ladybug on there? I honestly don't see why we wouldn't. So we're going to pull a little ladybug out of here. And the funny thing is, they fit right on top of a mini glue dot, which is really awesome. I think we should just put it right here on our sentiment. Yay! Okay, now I'm happy that worked out very well. Okay, so let me put these things away. I need my memento pad for something else. I don't need that. The glue, I might need that. We'll leave those out for a moment. I will push all of the trash out of the way. All right, and then I'll get my next set of goodies.